Hey, what is up YouTube? This is Fortress Striker, and we're finally done. We're finally done with 2020. Thank God. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and give you my usual updates and everything. This will be the final update for 2020, and I want to go ahead and give you every ounce of information I can give so that we can go ahead and talk about what we need to discuss for the next year. So far, let's get it straight to what's been happening with the channel and the podcast. So because of my time management with work, as well as with time management with Gio and his school, a lot has happened that we haven't been able to do an update on the episodes. We haven't done one since back in October. We were supposed to do a recording to continue on the Draft Box 6 Giant Force episodes with the other colors. Unfortunately, there were some timing issues for both me and him. Now, we were supposed to do one night of recording, and we were waiting for Gio, but he took so long we haven't been able to do a recording. And normally, I can do a recording without him if that's fine, but Gio has more of the information of things that I like to grasp, and I might need his help because I can't just have my opinion and Noel's opinion. We need to have other people's opinion. So we had to wait the next day, and when I was supposed to get ready to go home from work, unfortunately I was having some anxiety issues and I wasn't doing well. My heartbeat was fast, I couldn't breathe, and when I was working I was scared, and I had to leave home early and stay home the next day because I was too worried that I was getting sick, and if I kept getting sick I was not going to be able to go to work. It was going to suck, and I didn't want to do that. It had been untimely, and I did not want to, make it worse and go to like urgent cares or hospitals, because I did that like about a year ago, and in the end I just found I was anxiety. I just needed to take care of myself, and I try to do as best as I can to make sure I take good care of myself. I'm still going through a lot, especially with 2020 has been having a lot to me physically, but I don't want to get straight too deep, and no, it's not COVID related, so don't worry about that. But back to the subject, we haven't been able to do the episodes lately, and because my time management was well with work and the stress because of the holidays, I haven't been able to do any of my recordings. Of course, you guys have seen my latest episode of the Cards Against Humanity. Link in the description below if you guys want to go ahead and have a good laugh and stuff. We basically just had fun with some friends, and I just felt like recording, just having a little fun, because it's Cards Against Humanity. Who's gonna not laugh about that? And well, right now there is a little good news. We are gonna come back to do the recording, but we are going to let season 2 end and move on to season 3, because the seasons can move on by the type of set we're going through, and we have a lot to talk about. And this will also consist of talking about the Digimon game, because we are going to see what's going to happen. If you're going to know what's going to happen to the cards, are we going to read every card for weeks before when the set's released? No, we're going to talk about every set core of the decks, and we're going to talk about their strategies, how it works. Plus, we'll talk about the secret rares and any updates in the future, and what's the fate of the game. And because this actually also consistently takes a huge effect on our show too, but we're gonna say that for next week's. So be ready for that. So now, what's been going on with 2020? It's been a tough and horrible year, unfortunately. A lot has happened, and it wasn't good because we had a lot of trouble. We were prepared to go to World War III. We lost Kobe, and the virus came to hit. A lot of things have been happening. Poverty, businesses been closing down, and people seem they still have a job. I mean, I was having a tough time getting my unemployment checks for a long time. It took me very long to get it, and everything was during effect, especially in both here in Florida and in New York. And my brother lives in New York, so we've already had the worst cases of COVID here, and it's really bad. Currently at this time, I was informed that California is now hitting the worst, because now their hospitals are almost filled, and there's bodies being, people staying on the streets to get in line to see when ambulances can pick you up and take you to the hospital. It's really bad. New York had it worse this year because they had to fill up City Park, and it was shut down, and only for COVID because the hospitals were already full. It was really, really bad. It was empty. Yeah, they still had time to do a stupid parade, and COVID was getting worse. We also had elections that took too long. So 2020 has been a huge downer. But it's finally over, guys. We can move on and get things ready. And there is some positives in 2020, like I'm 25. 25 years in the making. And that's a great thing, because I also want to go ahead and enjoy everything I can with my family, because I lost a couple of family members from COVID, but I'm not gonna be put down, and I'm gonna make sure that we're all safe so that we can move on. And I have some other issues with my family, but I'm trying to take care of. So everyone, I hope you know that what I go through and whatever you're going through, I hope we can all get through this together. And pray who you can, man. Just go through better. Just take very good care of yourselves, because if not, we're not making this place better. We're gonna make it worse. And who knows, man? Humanity can finally be wiped out in the 21st century. And we usually see in movies where that takes about like 150 years, but at this rate, we're gonna be like what Terminator became, the end of humanity. But I also want to go ahead and say, let's keep things positive and move forward. I also do want to talk about the wrestling world, what's been going on with the wrestling world, and I feel like as though it's been really a tough time for wrestling, especially when we were just focused with All Elite Wrestling, doing all their hard work and putting it through everything. They've been doing a great job of making sure that everyone can work, everyone's taking care of themselves during the COVID, everyone's getting paid well, everyone's trying to do the best they can to keep the shows going. We've been pay-per-views this year, and they've been pretty cool, been fun. A lot of things can take effect, and I know in WWE at the same time they were basically working real hard. They did a lot of matches. It's also the retirement of The Undertaker, 30 years, and he retired the same day he debuted, which is really incredible, man. That's like rare. It's like the same time when WCW was bought out 6 days before WrestleMania X7, and it led to the finale of the Attitude Era, which was a great timing for that. So we thank Undertaker and thank you for being one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Always going to be one of my favorite top wrestlers of all time. Going to be my GOAT, going to be my Mount Rushmore. You will always be one of the greatest of all time. Never forget that. And speaking of greatest, unfortunately, we have had some sad losses this year, and it's been really tough. And I look at the list now, and there's only been 10 wrestlers legends who sadly passed away due to some untimely issues. Most of them were not even COVID, really. They were basically just untimely deaths, and I will read you a list of those who passed away. So we had Rocky Johnson, Kamala James Harris, Joe Laurinaitis, aka Road Warrior Animal, Hana Kimura, which is a very tragic one, who sadly died of suicide, and very sorry to hear all the tragic things that people done. Bullying is disgusting. No respect. Shad Gaspard, who sacrificed himself to save his son during a timely incident at a California beach where a tide came in and he made a sacrifice and they couldn't find his body. That's a hero. Howard Finkel, best ring announcer of all time. No one's going to imitate any of that legendary stuff ever again. And a great honest man. Earlier this year, we lost the first guy who did, and that was La Parca Dos, Jesus Escobosa. Sorry, I'm reading this. And his untimely death happened during a tragedy that happened months before 2020 started, where he tried to perform a suicide dive and bashed his head to the guardrail, and they have no concrete because in Mexican wrestling they don't have wrestling match, which is the stupidest thing because that's how people get hurt. And now this was sad, and this is the second La Parca, not the original. The original's name is La Parca, so don't worry. We had Thomas Tiny Lister, aka Zeus. You also remember him from the movie Good Friday, so it's really sad to see it. You know, a guy who also worked in No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan, so it's very sad. Pat Patterson, the first Intercontinental Champion. It was a very sad thing, especially when Jared Briscoe was released from the company during the COVID. Pat Patterson still by Raw, and losing him was a very sad thing. And of course, just recently, John Huber, aka Mr. Brody Lee, or Luke Harper, if you guys were WWE, didn't watch AEW, which is fine. And it's really sad. And we did the tribute episode last night, and it was like by far the best tribute episode. I have not seen something that incredible of a tribute in a long time since Eddie Guerrero, which was 15 years ago. And it's been 15 years since Eddie's death, and now to see what happens in 15 years for young Brody. His son is now contract at AEW, and now they just announced it, the TNT Championship belt that Tony Khan gave to Brody Lee Jr. was the actual belt that Darby was holding. So that belt design will now be officially retired, and a new belt design will be coming up. So they hope to get that done before the Darby Allin Brian Cage match, which comes in 2 weeks. So that TNT belt will now belong to Brody's family from now on. So that's the end of the belt. That's now the official Brody Lee Championship. And yeah, it's been not easy, but you know, sometimes life is hard, and time death is just a sad thing. But you gotta appreciate what you have and work for it better. And people made sacrifices to make us happy and put so much effort to get their life together or have something they fight for, you know, because in the real world it's not easy. And I hope that everybody can appreciate everything around you, even for the littlest things. Even when you argue with the person you don't like, your family member, your friend, just know that they'll need you more than you need them, and they know for the fact that, and vice versa as well, and to know that a lot of things can happen, even the most untimely things. So let's stick by it together. Hope we can get through the better, because it's not been easy, guys. But we can't let pain, hate, anger get the best of us. We just gotta move things forward and put a lot of effort to it, you know? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to go right now. I hope you guys have a very happy new year. Let's get 2020 out of our minds, and let's move forward to 2021, okay? And I hope you guys have a very happy, healthy, and nice new year. This is Fortress Striker saying, fuck you, 2020.